It's officially the best time of the year, March.
Plus, both iterations of Marquette basketball wrap up their seasons.
A lot to get to today, so thank you for joining us. Golden Eagle Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster.
Live from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University. This is Golden Eagle Sports Report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Adrian Fraga.
And I'm Sophie Hannerhan.
The Marquette women's basketball team battled the Creighton Blue Jays in the second round of the Big East tournament at Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut.
The Golden Eagles are looking to split the rubber match with the Blue Jays and have a date with the #1 ranked UConn Huskies. The first quarter was back and forth for both sides, and Creighton left the first period with a 12-11 lead.
And the Golden Eagles would go on a run of three-pointers and scored 9 of the first 11 in the period, including a 4-point play from Skylar Forbes at the 7:34 mark in the second quarter. Marquette would take a 20-14 lead at this point.
Marquette would go in an 11-minute scoring drought before Hallie Weiss ended it with a layup inside. Creighton would then get the lead up to 16 at one point, which was their largest of the game.
Marquette could not overcome the scoring drought or the turnovers and would end up falling to the Creighton Blue Jays 57-44. Marquette shot a season-low 29% from the floor.
The Golden Eagles are now 0-2 as the 4th seed in the Big East tournament and fall again in the quarterfinals.
Second-year head coach Kara Consuegra talked about how she feels about her team and the future of the program. Take a listen.
So we have a long way to go, and we're focused on the process, not just the outcome here at Marquette. And the kids that have been here over those 2 years and this core that's been together have done a tremendous job of helping to build our culture, of winning 20 and 18 games back to back.
The men's lacrosse team welcomed the Utah Utes to Valley Fields for a non-conference clash. And Adrian, the action starts early in this one.
It sure does, Sophie, because the Utah Utes open the scoring with 2 quick goals in the first 90 seconds of the game. Marquette responds quickly, though, with a goal of their own from the strike with Carson Brandt Jr. The team leads with 25 points this season.
And that's not all, as Marquette ties the game from a strike with Ethan Salvea. Down the stretch, Utah defends the Marquette offense and grabs another 2 quick goals. But the Golden Eagles get a goal back to end the quarter, with Carson Brandt claiming another spot on the score sheet.
And in the second quarter, this game is a deadlock. The Golden Eagles and the Utes go back and forth, exchanging blow for blow. And junior Bo Westphal and sophomore Easton McCaffrey net the 2 goals for the Golden Eagles.
And Adrian, Utah goes on a deep run of their own. The Utes go on a 9-0 scoring run that goes into the fourth quarter. And in the fourth, the Golden Eagles finally get a goal back as sophomore Brady Nichols nets his 5th goal of the season.
The Utes close the game, outscoring the Golden Eagles 2-1 as they take a 16-7 win back to the Beehive State. The Golden Eagles return to the field Saturday at Bellarmine, with the game starting at 11 a.m. And with the regular season all wrapped up, the men's basketball team traveled to New York for the first round of the Big East tournament.
Coach Smart and the Golden Eagles are matched up versus Richard Pitino in the first round of a tournament for the 2nd straight year.
But this time around, Sophie, it's Marquette versus Xavier.
That's right, and no surprise, all Big East first-teamer Trey Carroll sparks the action, scoring the first 4 points for the Musketeers.
But senior big Ben Gold responds, scoring Marquette's first points of the match with a quick release triple.
These teams battle it out early. Xavier senior guard Malik Messina Moore and Marquette sophomore forward Royce Parham carry the load.
But even with Parham's early 9 points, the Musketeers force a 10-point advantage over Marquette.
But it's Marquette's young starts that take the charge, tying the game at 38 to close out the first half.
And this first round clash picks up right where it left off, Sophie. Xavier opens up the scoring, but Marquette is quick to react.
Well, that's how it would seem, but who else but Trey Carroll locks it in for Xavier?
He was quiet early, but he scores the first points since, the first 4 points of the game, Sophie. And the senior guard, Chase Ross, refuses to go out quietly. And he's going nuclear beyond the arc to get Marquette back into the swing of things.
Adrian, this game is tied at 80 with less than 2 minutes left.
But it's 2 minutes too little as Xavier is able to ice the game thanks to some clutch free throws from both Philip Borovicinen and Messina Moore.
Xavier takes care of business in the first round, eliminating Marquette 89-87.
Marquette men's golf team traveled to South Statesboro, Georgia to participate in the Schnekel Invitational. 15 teams participated in the event, including the 23rd ranked Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, and the ranked Utah Utes.
The Golden Eagles' charge was led by junior Mason Schmidtke, who, after a slow start on day one, put up back-to-back rounds of 67. Schmidtke finished tied for 12th on the week at 6 under par, which was a career low for a 54-hole event.
And Misha Candina's, Jake Dale's clone, also put up a top 30 finish after a week of 1 under par, which ended up helping Marquette finish 6th.
The Golden Eagles fly south to Arizona for the Bell Bank Pay It Forward Collegiate this weekend at Litchfield Park.
Marquette women's lacrosse team travels to Niagara Falls to battle with the Purple Eagles.
Wow, another Eagles. The Falls may be powerful backdrop, but early on, no goals were falling for either team. Both squads posted 5 goal shots and 0 goals in the first quarter. The Golden Eagles also struggle with turnovers as the Niagara pressure mounts.
Niagara Falls thunders down 3,000 tons per second, but the Golden Eagles find a way to break through. 4 consecutive Marquette goals marks their 4-0 lead at half.
Yet the battle of the Eagles is nowhere finished. Niagara spurs a 5-1 run that notches both teams at 5.
But in the early fourth, third-year Marquette forward Sarah Beth fires in the go-ahead goal.
But that was all she wrote for this one in upstate New York.
Yeah, I mean, Golden Eagles are golden and they soar to 5-3, while Niagara falls 1-7.
Marquette has the week to prepare for its Big East opener against Georgetown. That matchup takes place at Valley Fields on Saturday, March 21st at 11 a.m. And now it's time for everyone's favorite GESR segment, Weekly Awards. Starting with the Team of the Week, that goes to the women's lacrosse team, who are on a 2-game win streak going back to March 9th. They beat Niagara, as we just mentioned, last Saturday, 6-5. And the MVP of this week goes to graduate student Hannah Bodner, who scored 3 goals in the win versus Niagara, which resulted in earning Big East Midfielder of the Week honors. And the Rising Star of the Week goes to first-year Gabby Windesheim. She collected 9 draw controls in the win over Niagara, which was a career high. Windesheim also accounted for 80% of the team draw controls and ranks 9th in the Big East with 3 per game. The performance earned her Big East Freshman of the Week honors. Congratulations. We have a lot to talk about this week in Marquette athletics, so Adrian, tell us, what's up?
There's a lot going on this week in Marquette sports. So first things first, the men's lacrosse team, they travel to Louisville, Kentucky, where they face off against the Bellarmine Knights. Marquette is coming off a 16-7 home loss to Utah, while the Knights, on the other hand, are coming off a 21-8 loss to Rutgers. Junior attacker Carson Brandt leads the Golden Eagles in points with 25 so far on the season. Bellarmine's John Ale has been on a tear, netting 29 goals and 47 points in his young season. This clash starts this Saturday at 11 a.m.
The women's lacrosse team opened their Big East play as they welcomed the Georgetown Hoyas to Valley Fields. Marquette is coming off a 6-5 win over Niagara, while Georgetown is coming off an 11-10 loss to Penn. First-year attacker Danny Serrano continues her standout first season for Marquette as she leads the team with 37 points. And for Georgetown, senior midfielder Molly Byrne is coming off a 3-point performance. This game also starts on Saturday at 11 a.m.
And the women's lacrosse team travel again to Homestead as they face the Aggies from UC Davis. Senior midfielder Tress Osborne is coming off a 3-point performance in the win over Niagara, and UC Davis is coming off a 15-4 win over the Marist Red Foxes. Look out for sophomore attacker Jane Fox, as she is coming off a 5-point performance in that win last week for the Aggies. And this non-conference clash starts 12 p.m. on Monday.
Volleyball team, haven't heard from them in a minute. They enter their spring exhibition season as they face their rivals from the capital, the Wisconsin Badgers. This is both teams' first game of the spring season, as both are coming off NCAA tournaments appearances last year in 2025. Keep an eye on sophomore Emma Parks, who leads in kills among returning players with 110. This in-state clash starts Monday at 12 p.m.
That might be volleyball, but both the Badgers and the Marquette Golden Eagles don't have a tournament win in March, so there we go. But moving on in Golden Eagle Sports Report, we're talking brackets. Catch more of GESR after this quick break.
I would just want you to listen to me more often and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hello and welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. As today marks the full beginning of March Madness, we have a special GSR bracket segment. Once again, I'm Adrian Fraga here alongside Brian Wilson and Matt Perez, so let's get right into it. So, obviously, games started today, as was previously mentioned, but some crazy games early. Wisconsin being upset by High Point University. I mean, I have a feeling this is going to mess up some brackets here, but how are your guys' brackets doing, first of all?
It's actually the only game I've gotten wrong so far, so 97% so far. I do have VCU over Carolina, so that game, a little iffy right now. We'll see what ends up happening as that game's going on right now as the show's going on, so we'll get to see that right after the show is over. But overall, I like where my bracket is at and kind of very confident in the picks that I have had. That Siena scare definitely was, but at that point, 16 over a 1. I made a point on my radio show earlier this week that a 16 would never beat a 1 again, and it almost happened. So I almost ate my words right there.
I just want to track back a little bit because you said you had VCU over UNC.
Yes.
I hate to tell you, Brian, but the score is currently 56-37 UNC. So, I mean, it seems like UNC might be going a little bit further as of right now. But, I mean, you said you were confident. Let's see how confident you are, really. But, Matt, how's your bracket doing?
Oh, I also took VCU, and that's not looking too well. I also took USF earlier today, and that was really ugly. I mean, they shot 5 for 33 from three-pointer, and that just made me sad. It was a very depressing performance. I also took Wisconsin over High Point. I was very, very surprised by it. I mean, High Point is a very sneaky team, and I saw it potentially happening. But John Blackwell and Nick Boyd, I thought they would have been able to get the job done, and it just didn't happen. But kind of like Brian, I still have faith in my bracket. I think it'll have still a good finish to it, and I'm very, very strong with my Final Four right now.
I don't want to, the folks at home, my bracket is currently in the 98th percentile, so I think I know what I'm talking about. I will say my one loss was also Wisconsin so far, except I did have Wisconsin beating Arkansas in the second round. I call it a gut feeling. I don't know. I feel like every year Arkansas is always hyped up to be something that they just don't end up living to. And Wisconsin, while I think they're definitely not as strong this year as they were in previous years, I mean, it's still Wisconsin. They've made some great runs in previous years, like last year. Actually, no, last year they got upset by BYU. But anyways, that continues that. Wisconsin, I hate Bucky. I don't hate Bucky. But anyways, aside from today, what are some exciting matchups that you guys might have seeing later in your brackets?
One that I feel like a lot of people have highlighted for the potential round of 32, Kansas versus St. John's, Rick Pitino versus Bill Self. I mean, what better matchup coaching-wise can you ask for? Darren Peterson, Zuby Ejiofor, that's going to be absolute cinema right there. Sweet 16, I have UCLA UConn highlighted right there. A lot of great potential in the East region. And then in the Elite Eight, I like Florida, Houston, going to be played in Houston if they both make it. Would be absolutely wonderful to see the former champion from last year, Florida, versus Houston, who wants their get back from last year. I would love to see that rematch right there.
Yeah, Houston, there's a couple ones that I look at. I look at Florida, who they lost to in the final seconds of the national championship last year, and then Duke trying to get revenge on Houston, who they lost to in the Final Four. But I'm going to kind of highlight a game that has a player that was on a graphic earlier, and that is the future #1 overall pick in the NBA draft, and that is Darius Acuff, as he is going to help lead Arkansas and take down Arizona, or at least a potential to take down Arizona. Arizona, definitely a tough physical team for Arkansas, but John Calipari, who's had elite guards over his career, including John Wall, Derrick Rose, De'Aaron Fox, puts Darius Acuff in a level that's even above them, and that's coming from the great John Calipari.
That's not crazy to say. He is amazing to watch. I mean, today he had 24 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists in the first round of the March Madness. I cannot wait to see what it does for the rest of the bracket.
You guys, I mean, Coach Cal's a legendary coach, but I mean, he has one tournament win in 2012. 2012, guys. Arkansas, I mean, Acuff is great. He is good. First overall pick, good. Let's slow our rolls. I mean, there's still obviously Cameron Boozer's a lock to go. I mean, and Darren Peterson and AJ Bansona could still very likely declare. And
you trust Darren Peterson? I know this is not an NBA talk show, but like you trust Darren Peterson because there's either two issues there. There's either that you quit on your team early in the season, or you have injury problems. So as an NBA executive, how can you trust you can take Darren Peterson? And back to Acuff, he is the first SEC player to win Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year since somebody named Anthony Davis. So that's pretty good company to be in. Another guy who played for Coach Cal.
An elite prospect, but I mean, Arkansas matching up against Arizona, that's going to be, if obviously it happens, would be a fantastic game, but I mean, Arizona this year, if there's any year where Arizona, I mentioned how Arkansas has struggled making deep tournament runs, it's Arizona that has that notorious, they're just notorious for choking. So Arizona making it, this is the year though, I feel Arizona can push over the edge, can be championship. Do I have them winning my bracket? No, because I'm right, but it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Mr. Confident over here.
Yeah, I guess.
98%.
He is 98th percentile, so I mean, we got to take his word for it maybe.
Well, anyways, finally, walk me through some of your Final Fours. I think this is where the bulk of the discussion is really going to come.
Yeah, and I think it's going to come from is going to be the best conference in all of college basketball this year. And the three top teams in that conference was Iowa State, Arizona, and Houston. And joining them is the team that is led by an elite star and could be the best one and done since Carmelo Anthony and Cam Boozer. So I got Duke, I got Houston, I got Iowa State, and I have Arizona. And Arizona's toughest test is going to be in the Sweet 16 against Arkansas. But if they can sneak past the Razorbacks, this is a team that legit could win the championship. There's been no team from the West Coast that has won it since 1997, and that was the Arizona Wildcats. And then Houston, their offense is more of the thing that is their team this year. Under Calvin Sampson, historically, it has been defense. And Kingston Flemings is a guy to look out for. He is a freshman. Calvin Sampson does not play freshman, and he trusts this guy to make plays. And then Iowa State, this is a team that has had some big wins. They reached as high as 2 in the AP poll, which was the best they've had their entire history of their program. TJ Otzelberger is doing an amazing job with that program, and this is a Big 12, pretty much Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, I like your picks, but I like the sneaky pick. We talked about him a lot, but give me the Arkansas Razorbacks and Darius Acuff to make it to the Final Four. I mean, if there's anyone that's going to dethrone Arizona, I think it's going to be Arkansas. I mean, Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, Billy Richmond, Trayvon Brazil, what a team. And then Iowa State, like you talked about, Milan Monkilovic and Joshua Jefferson, great season by them. Duke, Cam Boozer, and then the Florida Gators. I mean, they did it last year. Why can't they do it again? Alex Condon and Thomas Huff coming from the championship team last year, and then Chinlu, who I believe is going to win Defensive Player of the Year for NCAA, and then bringing in Xavier Lee from Princeton, bringing in Boogie Flan for Arkansas last year. Their backcourt is one of the best teams I have seen right now, and I think they can get it done. They were regular season champs in the SEC. Obviously not the best division, best conference, I would argue, but they are battle tested.
I just got to say real quick, I mean, battle tested, yes, but are they Vanderbilt tested? I say no, because Vanderbilt beat UF twice this year out of 3 contests. And, I mean, Vanderbilt has some impressive wins. And Vanderbilt's actually my sleeper team. I have them going all the way to the Final Four. Wow. That's my crazy take. But
wow.
I mean, my championship, you guys glossed over it, but Iowa State, what a team they have this year. I think if there's any year that Iowa State can't win it, it is this year. But coming up, even more March Madness. Find out about Cinderellas, Blue Devils, and more after this quick break.
Todd's in the hospital. Gross Todd. He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Action!
And welcome back to Studio 7 as we discuss more March Madness. Joining me on the panel tonight is Zach Pomainville and Lucas Schulze. Let's get right into it. Trailing by 11 at halftime, the number 1 seed Duke Blue Devils just barely rallies back to beat the 16 seed Siena Saints. Are you worried about the Blue Devils going forward? Lucas, I want to hear what you say first.
I'm saying this team is not making the Final Four right now. Duke really struggled against Siena, and they're lucky to even get out of that game. Again, they didn't have Caleb Foster, and he's probably not even going to be back to the Final Four if they get that far, which is I don't think is going to happen. They're also without Patrick Gungba, which is a big loss for them, but he should be back for the second game. But they lived at the line. Cam Boozer had 13 of 14 from the free throw line at 22 points. 22 points on just 4 made shots. And I don't really see this team, again, if they go to the Sweet 16, even if they get past TCU, who looked really good against Ohio State today, but if they go to the Sweet 16, they got to face either Rick Pitino or Bill Self. And that's 2 guys that you do not want to see in March.
No, absolutely not. Zach, what are you thinking?
I mean, I got to say, yeah, they're in panic mode right now. That's for sure. Siena missed 8 straight shots. They went scoreless for a little over 7 minutes. It looked like they should have won that game, right? They went 8 of 34 after halftime, and they were leading by what, like 11 or something at half? I mean, this was a very, very close game for Duke to slide out of, and I don't really know how they did it, but credit to them. They were the better team going in. They didn't play like the better team, but they somehow got it done. I'm really worried about this team next week against TCU, especially if they can't get their injured players back. But here's the thing. I think it's, obviously it's a 1 seed almost losing to a 16 seed, right? So we're going to overreact. We're going to say, oh, they're going to win. They're not going to win anything. They're going to be bad. But let's just wait. Let's wait and see. Let's keep overreacting.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really ugly win. But, I mean, teams in March, you got to find out ways to win. And they did win. But the thing is, they shot 5 for 26 from 3 and 21 free throws in total. That's not an impressive win whatsoever against a 16 seed and not what you want going forward. I mean, Cam Boozer went 1 for 5, Caden went 1 for 4, and Isaiah Evans, who's one of their better three-point shooters, went 2 for 8. If they have another performance like that against like a TCU team who's amazing on defense today, or a Bill Self, Kansas, Rick Pitino, St. John's, they're not going to fly. So we'll see.
And the other thing about Siena, they didn't make a sub to the last minute of the game. All 5 of their starters played 40 minutes, and they still could not pull away. And they were down by 13. It wasn't until two missed dunks on 1 possession where Duke kind of started to find their way and started to make some shots. But mostly, it was just Siena missing shots than Duke making shots. It really was, they got lucky today, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. But the best part about March Madness is seeing unexpected teams go on Cinderella runs. Past teams we saw go on magical runs include 2011 VCU, 2006 George Mason, and 2018 Loyola Chicago. Is there any teams in this year's tournament that you can see going on a Cinderella run? Zach, what do you think?
I'm going to touch on my little point. Let's overreact, right? I think TCU has a really interesting shot, right? I think, especially with Duke's injuries right now, I think if Duke can get past TCU, they probably have the easiest route to the Final Four. But I think TCU has a really good shot to beat Duke. And I think that once you grow that momentum, you get into the Sweet 16, there's not a 100% chance you play Kansas or St. John's. Those are two hard matchups, but you're playing good defense. They won off good defense today. They'll have to play really good defense against Duke. They can do it. They can survive a team that is injured and not fully cohesive right now. But I think TCU has a real shot to make something interesting of the next couple games. We'll see where they go.
You say TCU, I'm going to go a little bit seed higher. I'm going to give the Hofstra pride.
Oh,
this team's
yeah.
a 13 seed. They're playing Alabama. Alabama's second best player, Aiden Holloway, just got arrested for marijuana, and he is not going to be playing, obviously. And I really like this Hofstra team. They look great in their CAA tournament. They had a game winner against Townsend that got them the win. Then they went on and won the championship, and they got some of the most elite guard play in the country. Very underrated guys. Cruz Davis is averaging 20 points per game on 40% from three. And you look also, you got the other guy. You got the star Preston Amott, and he's been great. He's averaged 16 points per game, and he's a freshman. And last time this team was in the tournament was 2001 when Jay Wright was the head coach. And now he obviously how much success he had at Villanova. And Speedy Claxton was a player on that team in 2001, and now he is the coach of them. So I really am confident in this team that they're going to make a run in the tournament. And then they would possibly play Akron or Texas Tech. And Texas Tech's without JT Toppin, so I really think that they can make the Sweet 16 at least.
Yeah, I love that pick for you. But the team that might face them in the round of 32, I have the Akron Zips. I've loved Akron Zips ever since I saw them in the bracket, especially playing JT Toppin-less Texas Tech. Christian Anderson can very much beat Akron, but I love Akron's guard play. They're one of the fastest teams in the nation, 7th in points per game, 11th in the nation in field goal percentage, and 23rd in three-point percentage. I mean, they look amazing. I think they have a really great shot at going to the Sweet 16, and I love what they're doing, and I can't wait to see how it goes with them. But let's move on. Thanks for the great discussion. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Tune in next week for all of coverage of Marquette sports and more. For Zach Promainville and Lucas Scholze, I'm Matt Perez. Don't go anywhere as we have a special final take from Adrian Fraga.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
Cold, whether the weather be hot. Well, it surely wasn't a season to remember for the men's basketball team or Marquette fans. Expectations were tempered heading into the season, and in the preseason Big East coaches poll, Marquette was picked to finish 5th, one spot lower than the previous year. Once November ball finally came, the team dominated early with big wins over Albany and Southern, but a road game versus the Indiana Hoosiers would be a sign of things to come as Marquette would be outplayed 77-100. The next loss to Maryland left a sour taste in the mouths of the Marquette faithful as former Marquette head coach Buzz Williams outdueled Shaka Smart at Pfizer Forum. And it didn't take too much longer for the losses to start adding up. Dayton, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, and Purdue all handed Marquette non-conference losses. And Big East play started even uglier. The Golden Eagles would drop their first 4 conference games, and it was at this point where the season seemed to be at its lowest. But there were some bright spots in what seemed to be an abysmal season, the first years. Adrian Stevens and Nigel James Jr. burst onto the scene. NJ especially made a name for himself as the New York native capitalizes on the opportunity and shines, averaging over 16 points a game and over 19 points a game in Big East play, the highest scoring average since Carmelo Anthony's legendary run. In fact, NJ was so stellar, he was named Big East Freshman Player of the Year, being only the 3rd player in program history to be given the honor. But even with the rise of the first years, Marquette regularly found themselves outmatched, at least until the end of the season, where the team would close out the regular season with 2 wins, including a massive 68-62 upset over the number 4 ranked UConn Huskies. But March is a whole other animal, and Marquette would then enter the Big East tournament as the 7th seed, slated to match up versus the Xavier Musketeers. But Richard Pitino gets the last laugh, knocking Shaka and Marquette out of postseason contention in back-to-back years. Marquette would go on to finish their campaign with a 12-20 record, marking only the second time the program has a 20-loss season. Shaka has always been about retaining talent in-house, and now both James Jr. and Stevens already commit to Marquette for the next season. And with the departures of Chase Ross and Ben Gold, both seniors, it's truly time for the next generation. That's all we have for you tonight. Once again, I'm Adrian Fraga. Good night, Marquette.
Oh, that's a poster.